everyone, and welcome back to the Shanny Lee Show. So there has been a slight change in content scheduling. Not that you'll really notice, but when I was looking at my pre-scheduled content for YouTube and looking at the Anime Expo content specifically, what I've been able to pre-schedule for the Anime Expo content. So those are the videos starting June 30th and over Anime Expo weekend through today. I noticed that I was a video off, and I had thought that I had a video for every day of Anime Expo weekend. So like day 0, June 30th. Day 0 is when you can usually go pick up the badges if you didn't have your badges mailed, or when you can go pick up the wristband for proof that you've been vaccinated or that you tested negatively for COVID recently. I hope they do that again this year. COVID is still an issue, and with how many people caught COVID last year, I really hope they enforce it this time and enforce the masks. Anyway, I digress. When I was looking at the content I had scheduled for the weekend in the past 2 days, I realized that I was off a day, that I only had videos for June 30th, July 1st, July 2nd, and then July 3rd. So the first 3 days of Anime Expo and then June 30th. I was like, wait a second, I thought I had all 4 days of videos planned, but I just missed a video for the 4th day, which is why this video came in, because it is something that I wanted to talk about and I wasn't sure exactly where to talk about this. It was another topic that I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to have attached to the vlog or the Get Ready With Me chats or the merchandise haul, because I didn't want to make them overly long. So here we are. The AX posting schedule that I mentioned in the 14 things you can do at your first convention video. The schedule that I mentioned in that video will stay the same. The 7th will be the Get Ready With Me chats. The 14th will be the vlog. 21st will be the commentary on Anime Expo 2023. The 28th, the last Friday in July, will be the merchandise haul. Why did I not cosplay to Anime Expo 2023? The reasoning boils down to what happened during Anime Expo 2022 and how overwhelmed I got, especially on the first day. And I still had a really fantastic time at Anime Expo 2022, but how overwhelmed I got on the first day especially just overshadowed the next 2 days I went, days 2 and 3, since I didn't go day 4. And I think I've talked about that a little bit in some of my other videos, just how crazy the first day was for me. That overwhelmed sensation kind of boiled over to days 2 and 3. Day 1 of Anime Expo, I did cosplay as Charlotte LaBeouf from The Princess and the Frog. The reason why I chose her was, one, because I knew that the outfit was pretty comfortable, since it was just a simple pink dress and the wig and then a hat. And obviously I was wearing my mask too. But that outfit was relatively comfortable and I could take off my wig and look relatively normal. And that was kind of my goal for cosplaying at Anime Expo 2022. Choose cosplays that are relatively comfortable. So day 1 was Lottie. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I stayed in cosplay the entire time at Anime Expo that day. Again, this kind of all ties back to how overwhelmed I was. Days 2 and 3, because of how day 1 was, I ended up not feeling like I was up for cosplaying days 2 and 3. I had wigs in both scenarios, but I didn't put it on. How overwhelmed I got during Anime Expo 2022 was a big factor to why I didn't cosplay this year. And I think another big factor for this was the fact that a lot of my cosplaying identity, so to say, especially at conventions, at the convention scene, it was centered around Elizabeth Lizzie Mitford from Black Butler. I was about to say Lottie for a second, but it was centered around Lizzie. I loved Lizzie with my whole heart and soul, and I still kind of do. I still do a little bit, and I can talk about my experience with Black Butler in another video because that's a whole other deal. Lizzie was the first character that I cosplayed to Anime Expo 2020. Lizzie was the first character that I cosplayed to Anime Expo 2013, because Anime Expo 2012 was my first year, and I had cosplayed her every single year up to Anime Expo 2019. At AX 2019, I'm pretty sure I did a casual Lizzie cosplay, but practically every year I cosplayed Lizzie at least 1 day, sometimes even 2 days, because the last couple of years I cosplayed from Black Butler, I was hosting the meetups and we would host them for 2 days for the people who maybe couldn't make it to one of the meetups. There were 2 options. friends. Again, I can talk about the Black Butler stuff in another video. I had made so many friends through cosplaying from Black Butler and through cosplaying Lizzie specifically. That's how I made a lot of my convention friends. But after a while, I was watching other anime, but I had stopped watching Black Butler after a couple of years. And I was still cosplaying Lizzie. I would occasionally cosplay as May Rin. And the very last year, 2019, I cosplayed as Rachel Phantom Hive. When I was talking about it with my sister the fourth day of Anime Expo, and looking back on it, it was like cosplaying Rachel Phantom Hive was really a last-ditch effort for me, a last-ditch cosplay, so to say. That cosplay also doubles as my Lady Malthea cosplay, but it was a last-ditch effort, last-ditch cosplay, as I said, as an attempt to hold on to something that I wasn't invested in anymore. And looking back on Black Butler, like, I enjoyed the time that I spent liking Black Butler, watching it, and cosplaying as Lizzie May Rin, but it wasn't something that I had been investing in. I think that really took a toll on my cosplaying identity, and specifically my cosplayer identity in the convention scene. The point of all of this is that I was trying to hold on to something that I was no longer investing in, and it no longer made sense for me to continue holding on to it. So that year I decided that I was no longer going to host the Black Butler meetups, and I was not going to cosplay from Black Butler anymore. And I had some other cosplay ideas that I could do for the next Anime Expo, which was going to be Anime Expo 2020. That was the initial plan. COVID hit early 2020, Anime Expo 2020 was canceled, AX 2021 was not going to go ahead, so we had Anime Expo 2022. And my badges for AX 2020 rolled over to AX 2022 because I had selected that option so that I would for sure have my badges for AX 2022, which is why you'll see in the vlog, in my Anime Expo vlog for this year, I was a little bit thrown off by the registration process for getting the badges this year. I was a little bit thrown off by that. I did edit some of it out, but I was thrown off by it. I had all of these plans to cosplay at Anime Expo 2022. I was going to do a couple of Disney cosplays because, as I said, my main goal was to do comfortable cosplays, and I won't get too repetitive. We all know how I ended up feeling after day 1 of Anime Expo. Days 2 and 3, I ended up not cosplaying. Looking back on it, it was kind of refreshing not cosplaying. It was nice to have a wig handy for if I was like, okay, I feel like I can wear a wig right now, you know, and do my casual cosplay. But it was refreshing not to have the wig on. Whereas like previous years when I haven't cosplayed, there was one day I didn't cosplay to Anime Expo 2019, I believe. That one time it was like a little bit weird because I was always cosplaying to Anime Expo. For Anime Expo 2022, as I've said, it was nice to just be walking around really comfortable and just taking everything in without worrying about my cosplay. So that is why I decided to not cosplay this year. Because when I was thinking about this, I was really thinking I kind of want a blank slate for Anime Expo. I want to start over, so to say, press restart on my Anime Expo experience and see if it's something that I want to continue investing in Anime Expo specifically. A part of me does want to continue investing in Anime Expo and attending because I've made a lot of friends there. I still meet up with quite a few friends there, but Anime Expo has gotten really expensive. Like this year was, when I bought the badges, it was $165 for one 4-day badge. It's never been that high before when they've initially opened registration. It's usually started around $80 ballpark, but usually no more than $100. For it to be over $100, over $100, just over $150, that was kind of crazy to me for a 4-day badge. But the main reason why I got the 4-day badge was to give myself a little bit of leniency. I think I explained this in my AX vlog, what I've recorded of my AX vlog so far. I like the idea of having that leniency of if I don't want to go a specific day, let's say I'm not up for going day 2, I still have days 3 and 4 to go to, and I'm not relying on just being able to go one day, and if I'm not feeling up for it, then I can't go again. It's still 165? Was it 145 when I bought it? I just looked at the Anime Expo tickets and it's saying 165 right now, so I might have like bumped it up in my mind. I'm gonna look at my tickets because, correction, the tickets started off at 145 and then they bumped up to 165. Again, for it to be even close to 150, it really did not make sense. Going back to cosplaying, another reason why I decided not to cosplay to Anime Expo this year, it's not the biggest reason. The other 2 reasons I mentioned earlier are bigger factors in the reasoning, but this third reason did factor in a little bit. I'm still watching anime, but I haven't really been watching anything new, for me at least. I've been sticking to my usual comfort anime, School Rumble, Inuyasha, Studio Ghibli films, Fruits Basket, Princess Tutu, and Cowboy Bebop is included in that comfort list, but I do have a getting back into anime video where I watched Cowboy Bebop, mainly because I didn't remember the ending to Cowboy Bebop. That video is scheduled for sometime in August, I'm pretty sure. So I watched that as kind of my reintroduction to anime to get back into anime, hence the title of the playlist slash overall series. And that series will have more anime, newer anime, and anime that I haven't watched. Because I haven't been watching a lot of anime recently, that is, and because I haven't been watching a lot of new anime, it's not that I didn't feel comfortable cosplaying to Anime Expo this year, it's just that part of me didn't know what to cosplay to Anime Expo this year. I would want to cosplay something from an anime, and kind of like what I was saying, where it was a relief to not be cosplaying to Anime Expo, I feel like not cosplaying this year to Anime Expo, deliberately not cosplaying, not bringing wigs, and being as comfortable as possible, that gives me like a little bit of a buffer as, okay, I can get back into anime and I can start cosplaying again, and cosplaying from anime specifically. I know this video was a bit long-winded and very train of thought, stream of consciousness-esque, but I appreciate you watching this video through to the end. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.